Alright, so to wrap this up, I'm going to show you guys some combos and a couple things that I forgot. First of all, let's try. So to wall carry with Armor King, the best thing is dash jabs, unfortunately. Unless you hit with a dark uppercut, which you can do this. That's the best wall carry for Armor King. Now, usually when I hit with like a hop kick, I just try to do 4 dash jabs and then forward 2-1, and that'll get you pretty much to a wall, if you can get to a wall. And then you just dash up, down 2, and then you're good to go. So that's his good wall carry. As I was mentioning earlier, no matter what the combo, if you do a combo and you're gonna get to a wall, you're gonna want to end with that ground throw if possible, especially if you did a tag assault, because tag assault is going to give them rage, and basically, you know, when people have rage and they're about to die, they're going to try to tag crash, and that's why, as I mentioned earlier, that setup is so good. So that's the goal with your combos, in my opinion. That's how I play them. I think that the ground throws at the wall are really useful, and I think that when available to you, if the mix-up is going to kill, it's worth it. If the mix-up is not going to kill, then, you know, it's arguable, because you can do a lot of damage without the ground throw for your combos. Oh, let me show you guys some other shit. So as a tag assault filler, you will find that one of the most annoying things about Armor King is at the wall, he doesn't have a lot of good tag assault fillers. So what you can do, here are some of his options. If you want to be safe, you can do 3+4, 1. That's what I like to use with at least this team. It's pretty reliable at most angles, and it does good damage. But another option is, this is a little bit more reliable, is up 2. Now it does less damage, but you can do, you know, it's more reliable, and you could do some better stuff with up 2. Now if you want to be, if you're really straight, like, you know, 45-degree angle from the wall, the way he is right now, like his back directly behind the wall, you can do up forward 2, and it goes over him, and you could do a sandwich combo with some characters. So let's try that. Oh, I fucked it up. Anyway, you get a sandwich combo, and you can do other stuff too at the end of it, like anyway, it works. You could do some pretty weird stuff, but that's not really that reliable. So usually you're gonna want to do the 3+4 1, just because it's just reliable, and reliability is what's important in tournament. So that's what I would suggest. Whoops, forgot to turn the camera back on. All right. So a couple other things I wanted to show you are the tech catches that he has at the wall. You can use this into down forward 2-1, and if you instant while running the running 3 and they tech roll, if you do it just right, it will tech catch, and they cannot block it. I was close. Oh, there we go. So what happened right there, basically the only way to block that is to tech roll and hold forward. So that is one of the possible outcomes, but usually if you do it really correctly, there's no way to block that. And that works for both sides too. So let's see. This is what I used to do in T6 before tag assault combos existed. And the good thing about this setup is if you don't do it 100% perfect in terms of while running, you still put their back to the wall with -9. So that's really good. Yeah, it's a tech catch cross up basically. And you can also do the same type of tech catch cross up off of the same thing, but with forward 1+2, like that. But it's also one of those things where you got to practice the timing. Let's try it again. Whoops. Well, take my word for it, it works, but it's not as reliable as the running 3. The running 3 is a good setup if you don't want to use tag assault and then you don't want to do the ground throws, because even if you don't do it completely fast enough for it to be a true tech catch, you still will force them to block the slash kick against the wall, which gives you, you know, additional options to follow up with. Someone else also mentioned that they wanted me to show the key charge thing, so I guess I'll show that. If you do the key charge thing, you can, you gotta find the right move, but there are some moves that allow you to, that push your opponent into the fire. You know, but the thing is, the properties of this fire is really, really odd, actually. It's kind of hard to explain, but basically, even if it hits, you can't combo off of the hit animation. No matter how quickly you hit them after they catch fire, you can't combo with it. But what you can do is you can mix up. So if you do this shit, and let's say you do just back 4. So let's see. Then you could throw them off of that. And someone in the chat mentioned this earlier, though I've never done it myself, but I suppose if you use that a lot, you can use the dark uppercut for a mix-up. But I don't know if that really works that well. I haven't tried it myself. I don't know. I don't know how to do that. I never do that. But I guess it's possible. But the fire breath, it's usable, but it's kind of a gimmick. You know, you're not going to win a whole tournament with it. As I mentioned earlier, with King by himself, you want to do down forward 1 into the ground throw if you're going to do it. If you're using tag assault combo, you just want a standing jab. So whatever string you have, standing jab, ground throw, and then you'll get the ground throw into the wall. So it's really, really effective. I think his wall game is really good. The problem with Armor King overall is that he's one of the hardest characters to use to their maximum potential. You have to be really good at Tekken to be a good Armor King player. You can't just be like some random schmuck off the street and expect to win with this character, because basically all of his moves, none of his moves are really that good unless you're able to execute them correctly. And you have to have really good movement. You have to be able to hit the brakes on your wave dash. You have to be able to know when your opponent's going to duck, so you could pummel them with while standing stuff mids out of your crouch dash, so that you could then begin to use things like lariat, things like dark uppercut. You also have to learn the spacing for dark uppercut, because if it gets blocked shallow, it's pretty safe because jabs won't reach. And the most important thing, I can't stress enough, is giant swing. You got to practice giant swing. It's so important out of crouch like that. It's important out of a ton of moves. As a punisher at -10, 11, and 12, it can surprise your opponent. It'll wall splat. I mean, giant swing is really what makes everything else good. Giant swing is what makes Tombstone good. Giant swing is what makes, you know, Shining Wizard good. It's what makes even stuff like this bad breath thing really good, because, you know, when you're crouch dashing and wave dashing at them, they're going to be like, oh, fuck, I'm going to duck, I'm going to do all this stuff. And then when you do something like these types of moves, they duck, and then they're like, oh, he did a high, let me stand. And they're going to stand into the bad breath. And I'll show you right now, if you're at the right range, that's a combo. See, you have it on guard all right here. So at really close range, look, he could block a jab, which is 10 frames, right? But at shallow range, that's a combo, and it's actually plus 14. So let's see if I could get it to hit. That shoulder is guaranteed too, as well as a dark uppercut. And that also happens when they duck the bad breath and then stand up into it. So it's less likely for you to hit with it on shallow hit from standing right here than it is all the way in their face when you're pressuring them, and then you do it, they see you reel back like that, and then they duck, but then they stand up into the bad breath. When you do it that way, it's minus 14. So I mean, it's plus 14. So you get, the safest thing to do in my opinion is that, but you can get unavoidable throws because it's plus 14, and you could do a lot of other stuff too. So I think once in a great while this shit's pretty decent too, as a wall type of a move. But overall, I think you know, slash kick is really important too. But let's see. Overall, I'd say the Armor King, most characters, most players, top players, would put him at around, I'd say, top 20 at least. On paper, he's probably top 10. But you know, we're only human. 14 frame dark uppercuts don't come. You know, they don't grow on trees and shit. So you know, on paper, he's better than he is in real application. But the better you are at Tekken, the better you are at movement, the better you are at representing wave dash, but stopping it on time, and just spacing and maintaining the right speed. I mean, sorry, the right range. That's the key, pretty much, to Armor King. But really, really high execution character. And if you guys are, you know, beginners, I would not recommend using too difficult characters. Like, if you're gonna use Armor King, use someone else that's easy, because I think Armor King might be a little bit difficult for novice players. Anyway, that took fucking forever. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I will try and do another one in the future, but it takes so fucking long that I don't know if I will. I'm gonna go ahead and go look at some flowers. So you guys push all those heart buttons and subscribe and all that bullshit, and I will catch you guys later.